Hello there, Dave here. What you're about to listen to is a preview of the Tales from the Backlog V.I.P feed that is exclusive to supporters over at patreon.com/realdavejackson. If you would like to support the show, head on over there, take a look at the tiers. The $5 tier and up will get you the Tales from the Backlog VIP feed with bonus episodes, should you choose. If you do, I will be eternally grateful and you will be my hero. All right, let's get to it. Hey everybody, this is Dave Jackson, and you're listening to Tales from the Backlog VIP, the patron-exclusive bonus content for Tales from the Backlog, just for you patrons. So if you're listening to this, you're already a supporter, and you're my hero. Today, I'm going to be talking about Stray, which is an adventure game developed by Blue 12 Studios and published by Annapurna Interactive for PC and PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 in 2022. Elevator pitch for Stray is the shortest elevator of all time. Simply, cat game. Moving on. Spoiler policy for this episode. This is going to be a kind of regular Tales from the Backlog style episode, except it's just me. So it's going to be shorter, but there will be a spoiler section. I still don't want to spoil the game for people who haven't had a chance to play it yet. So, same thing as always, I'm going to talk about what the game is like, mechanics, story, stuff like that, and then at the end, a short spoiler section where I'm just going to share some spoilery overall thoughts about what goes on in the game. But this is going to be a nice little breezy episode, as long as I am able to stop talking in the intro and actually get into Stray. So my history with Stray is probably similar to just about everybody else that played this right when it came out. The main thing that interested me in it was not that you play as a cat, although that's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I was excited to play a game where you play as a cat, but the thing that honestly interested me most in playing this is because as someone who's been subscribing to PS Now and PS Plus for a long time, we don't get shit on day one like the Game Pass Elite do. So when this was announced as a game that was dropping day one on PS Plus, I was like, okay, I am for sure going to play that. And then as like the pre-release marketing cycle started to kick in and I started to see gameplay and stuff, I thought, oh, that actually does look pretty fun. Like I am definitely going to play that for sure. So day one that it dropped, I started playing it. And those that are in the Discord server know that just a couple hours into the game, my nice monitor blew some kind of electronical thing and totally went black while playing it. Funny smell started coming out of the thing and everything. So delayed a few days, but I did beat this over the course of about a week. I think it took about 4.5, maybe 5 hours of total gameplay. Not a very long game. And just to give quick opening thoughts about, Stray, I think that pretty much everything this game set out to do, like openly set out to do, they did it really well. It's a beautifully designed world, and playing as a cat, which was the main draw for a lot of people, feels good. Feels good to run around as a cat, jump on stuff, knock stuff off of ledges, scratch up rugs, cat stuff. Feels good. I do think that you should keep your expectations for this game's story and like the scope of the gameplay, keep your expectations in check. This is not, a cat immersive sim or something like that. It's kind of a puzzle platformer sometimes where you play as a cat. That's all it is. So, in Stray, you play as a stray cat, and just recently I've started to see mods where people are kind of modding the way the cat looks to look like their own cat, or even putting in a dog, or even I saw today Spyro the Dragon. I think it's like just the cutest, like most heartwarming thing that people are like, I'm going to take time. I'm going to mod this so that it looks exactly like my cat. That's, aw. People are cool sometimes, So you play as a stray cat. The opening sequence has you out with your squad mates in your, I don't know what they call a group of cats, but you're out with your cats, and your cat slips and falls into some kind of chasm into a subterranean walled city. So this is not like a story where you're, trying to save the world from some imminent threat. You're just a kind of a cat who falls down, and you just keep moving forward, and the story picks up, and then there is something that you need to do throughout the story. But this is not like you're on a grand quest from the beginning. It's literally just like, nah, you're a cat. You fell down, and now you're going to try to find a way back up, I guess. So this is a cat game, which means that you do cat things. And this is one of my favorite things about the game, is that the attention to detail with regards to mannerisms and little like idiosyncrasies and reactions that a cat would have are like really lovingly thought out, animated, captured, all of those things. So like there's so many times throughout the game where something would happen to the cat and the cat would react, maybe it gets scared and it does that funny, startled jump that cats do. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Right. Like they really went through each situation and thought like, what would a cat do in this situation? And there is a dedicated meow button, and you get a trophy for meowing 100 times throughout the game. So I was basically just like hammering on that meow button. And there's some other reasons why you should use that meow button too, but I'll leave that for you to figure out for yourself because it's kind of cute. You also have simple like interact icons, like one button plus interactions throughout the game to do all kinds of stuff, from jumping. Like you don't have a jump button, but if you go and look at a ledge that the cat can jump up on, you'll get a prompt to jump. So you can do it like that. And then there's other interactions that you do around the world, cat stuff, right? So stuff like scratching on the sides of couches, taking a nap. Maybe you see a paint can precariously on the edge of some kind of ledge. You can go knock that paint can off. And I don't know, just had a lot of fun doing random cat stuff. Good times. The game also has some stealth and chase sequences, but they are pretty light, pretty easy. In a couple of the stealth or chase sequences, I failed, died, 2 or 3 times while I figured out what I had to do. Overall, these are very easy. They're not intrusive of the experience at all. So when one came up, even if I was like, another stealth sequence, I never like got tired of them. They're decently fun. And again, they're light. They're easy. This is not Metal Gear Solid. This is not Hitman. This is light stealth. The city that you fall into as the cat is overrun with this invasive species called the Zurks. The Zurks look like head crabs from Half-Life. They look kind of creepy. They have these glowing parts. The sound design on them is pretty good. They sound creepy. And this is where a lot of your puzzles and stealth come in, is the Zurks travel in packs. And they are kind of like, you can manipulate the packs. And like you can meow, they're drawn by sound. So if you meow over here, they'll run to you, and maybe you can section them off and shut a gate behind them and stuff like that. So there's quite a few puzzles of that variety, or maybe running away from a pack of Zurks. What makes the Zurks interesting is that throughout the story, you'll learn a little bit about them. They are, they're kind of like this destructive life force. They can basically eat and or digest most types of materials, including organic tissue, like cats, but also metal and stuff like that too. So for a while, those are your kind of main antagonists, because you find yourself in lots of places that are overrun with these things. So if you've seen videos of the cat running away from stuff, that's what's chasing them, the Zurks. And if you've seen any of the pre-release marketing material, you've seen the drone companion. Its name is B12, and it's just kind of like a handy thing to do stuff that a cat would not be able to do, like operate a keypad or something like that. So don't want to say too much about that. That's kind of, the story is kind of based around the drone and then the robots that live around in the underground city. The underground city is inhabited by robots, and the quest is on to kind of save your cat skin, but also help out the robots and find out what's going on in this world. Because it is a world that is kind of, looks like it's inspired by real life places, but this either doesn't seem like our world exactly, or maybe it's way, way, way in the future. Something like that. So the story in this game is all right. I never felt really enraptured by the story, and the big reveals that come up throughout it didn't do a whole lot for me most of the time. But what I did like is the environmental design and the spaces that were made. The game is very, some would say, cluttered, and that sounds like a derogatory term, but the game is full of stuff, and it looks like a very lived-in world because a lot of the places you're going, there are things living there. And I really enjoyed looking around at the kind of stuff that the artists put in this game. It's really, really nice. And of course, you're a cat, so you can mess with a bunch of this stuff. You'll come across lots of desks that have bottles and stuff on them, and you sure as hell can jump up on the desk and knock the bottles down, just like a cat. And that is the end for this free preview of Tales from the Backlog VIP. Head on over to patreon.com/realdavejackson. $5 a month or more will get you the VIP feed, where you can listen to the rest of this episode and many more. Thank you. See you later.